Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich. All you have to do today is pick up that phone and speak the words that I have taught you. And I will make you richer than the most powerful CEO in the United States of fucking America.
Welcome to Road to Billions Podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey everybody, it is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions Podcast. Man, you guys, the journey's been very much transitional. We are in Virgo season. Shout out to all my Virgos. And also another season of just like a lot of things are going to improve for a lot of people and a lot of circumstances are going to change. But what I do feel like is the main concern right now is us knowing what we're going to do for the next couple months before 2023 pop up. And a lot of us are paralyzed by being perfectionists, right? A lot of us are paralyzed by being pessimistic about the end goal. Like, it may not work, bro. Like, why am I doing this X, Y, Z? But, you know, before I do too much of the sauce spilling and the tea spilling, I want you guys to rate and review the podcast, man. Let others know. I kind of do something very transparent on my podcast. I go straight through. If you guys hear me make any wrongful pronunciations of words or blabs or, you know, short term, like a little bit of like messing up, don't like try to haunt me for it, because I'm not perfect. I'm a human. So I don't do any big edits to my episodes. I kind of speak from my heart, and whatever comes to my mind first, I kind of just herp and drop it on this podcast. But yeah, let's get back to it. Perfection, man. I know a lot of us, we suffer from imposter syndrome. See, I made a mistake already. But and we suffer from just being paralyzed by perfection. I know a lot of people, when they see great celebrities and they see all these people who became overly successful and became very famous, and not even famous, but very rich, they never looked at the background of that person getting to that point. We always look at the end goal. We always look at the finished product. If Yeezy was ever to produce the Yeezys Red Octobers, I have a pair of those. Shout out to Yeezy for that. But I mean, I'm not saying he gave me the shoes. I'm just saying, you know, I got a pair. They rare, by the way. so anyways, yeah, fast forward. If Yeezy was to ever go ahead and drop, right, some Red Octobers, and they were never finished, they didn't even have no laces in them. They didn't even have no check mark to them. Let alone, they didn't even have no style to them. A lot of people would just automatically discriminate and say, man, this shoe is trash, until they see the finished product. Then everything came together. So when I tell people like perfection is just an illusion that you place upon yourself, it's really an illusion, because I call myself successful every day. You know, there's people who have nicer cars than me. There's people who have more money than me. But I know at the end of the day, I'm very much fulfilled and I'm happy, and where I'm at in life is a journey. And I'm here doing what I want, the things I want, while really, you know, progressing my life in a purposeful way. So I look at life like you only put out what you want to receive in the world. So if you feel like people are going to give you bad compliments, that's automatically going to happen. Like if you want to be successful, know that people are going to try to tear you down no matter what, you know? So that's why I kind of had the beginning of Wolf of Wall Street and as the intro, because I like to ignite that fire in people. Like, bro, like we really got to get to this bag. You know, we don't have time to make this thing look perfect. You know how people, you know, I see a lot of women, and women, a lot of women are great at doing this. You know, shout out to the women. Like, we love you guys. I see a lot of women, man, like particularly black women. I will see them rushing, right? They'll rush their makeup. And the friend will be like, wait, hold up, girl. Like, you need to go ahead and do this, X, Y, Z. Do that to the, you know, whatever you guys doing, foundation. I don't know what you guys do. And then the person who makeup, who has the makeup on, they're looking at it real closely at the mirror because, women, they're very particular about how they look, So when they go out, they make sure that they look up to par when they're at the house because they know things are going to go bad if they don't. So this one particular person I'm watching, she looking in the mirror, she just looking at stuff like and the other girl was like, listen, you know what? It looks perfect. Don't worry about what people say. It looked good to you, right? She said, yeah. But she was like, I'm just worried about it not looking. And she was like, why do you feel like you have to worry about what other people? This is your birthday. Like this is your day. Like forget what everybody else got going on. They came here to see you. Let alone if they didn't come here to see you, why worry about what they have going on with you? And I took that and I'm like, wow, that's really some good encouraging words. Like women really do encourage other women. Sometimes guys kind of like clown you for it. Then they give you a pep talk. Women kind of like give you a pep talk. Then they laugh after, So it's like, it's really cliche, but we all have a communication style that all works for everybody. But back to the point, what I'm saying is perfection is illusion, man. Like if you guys always hear my first podcast, bro, like I gradually came up just working hard, man, is really working around other people, building relationships. And not only that, just networking with people. I call myself a millionaire and billionaire every day. You got to be a millionaire, multi, and then billionaire. Even though if you get the billion all at once, you just kind of like went through all the steps still. You feel me? You just still at the billionaire stage. But that's the way I look at life. And I always look at life like whatever you put out, bro, you just know it's perfect in your eyes. If you put out a body of work, music, art, clothes, anything, it's your vision. It's your perfect. It's your perfection. Like whatever isn't admirable by others will make you feel like you're less of a person. But you can't have that meaning attached to anything you put out. You have to say whatever I put out is my best work. Whatever I put out, they're gonna like it. And if you don't like it, I don't care. And if you like it, I appreciate you. I'm always gonna send my blessings. But I kind of live life like that. I never really took life too serious because life will teach you certain things that you just have to just laugh about it. Like you just be like, well, that's on me. You got to laugh sometimes because if you're trying to be too perfect at all times, you're going to run yourself wild and crazy. I'm a Virgo, and for all the Virgos who listen to this, you guys know how we very much perfectionists at what we do. We're very organizational. We're very more skillful. We take pride in our craft. We have to have a purpose in order for our lives to feel fulfilled. When we're doing something we really love, Virgos, and we be in the service, we really are fulfilled. And if you're not doing things that fulfill you, you're unfortunately becoming unhappy. So when I tell people I'm very much happy and I'm very much successful, I'm very much everything I want to be, they may be like, man, you don't have all that. I'm like, you don't see the things I have. Like, it's not for you to see. It's for me to feel. You feel me? So the more I feel better about myself, the more things come to me, and perfection is just an illusion. So today I may not write the best music. Tomorrow I may not write the best music. The day after I may not write the best music. But gradually, if I keep working on it, I'm going to learn things along the way. You learn things along the way. The teacher will appear when the student's ready. And I feel like, sometimes in life, you just have to take the approach of just being very intentional about what you do. If you're looking to be a perfectionist in what you do, then you don't need to worry about other people's opinions about that because their perfection ideal isn't yours. And you guys don't have the same brain. So we all are different. We all are creative in our own approaches. And that's why I try to reiterate to all my friends and family and everybody I come in contact with that you have to understand you're delaying your success by making it look too perfect, making it look too cool, making it look too oh, they're not going to like that. She's not going to like that. He's not going to like that, man. I'm never going to release it. Now you could have had $1 million product, but no one will ever know because you're too afraid to give it to the world. So like I always preach on this podcast and I always give you guys advice and motivation. I don't know who hears this podcast. I always see my streams go up. So like I said, big shout out to you guys and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. But bro, don't worry about perfection. When I made this podcast, it was 2 years ago. You feel me? I'm doing thousands of streams now a month easily. But what I just do is I don't take that and attach myself to it because some people be like, man, you were supposed to already get blown up. You're supposed to get a podcast deal. I'm like, this is my hobby. This is how I communicate with people. This is what I love. This is what fulfills me. So whenever it's meant to come to me, it's going to come at a point in time. Don't rush your process. Don't rush your success because you might see your homegirl with a Benz and her car payment might be covered by her parents, but your parents may not give you that same liberty to go ahead and go get a car note and they pay for it. So you're comparing your life to somebody who may not even have the same struggle as you, but only because it looks good, you're only trying to now say you're not perfect. Man, I don't have a nice car, man. I wish I had a fucking Mercedes. Now you telling yourself, now you taking yourself out your blessing because God could have gave you a G-Wagon. You don't know how you're going to get rich. You don't know how you're going to be successful. That's why I tell people never attach yourself to nothing. Like, you can always jump around industries. That's why I was always big on like not going to grad school, to be real, because grad school, it really deflects your purpose. Like, if you really want to be 100, how do we know at 18 years old when we're in high school what the fuck we want to do for the next 4 years? Like, how do you really tell somebody? Okay, some people may already have it in them, right? At 18, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be Dr. Bertrand, right? But when I really got in college and I really started exploring my talents and skills, medical school wasn't too in my future. You know, I didn't really want to go to PT school. I didn't want to really go do anything in a medical field, not because I didn't have a taste for it, but because I knew it was more to life than just like school. Like, I knew if I could open up a business and successfully take care of myself through college, why can't I just scale it in a higher business? Like, take it from 5 figures to 6 figures. Why can't I do that? You know, so I always took life like that. Like, you always have improvement. You always have room to grow. For some people, we didn't go to grad school. We didn't take a second education, not because we feel like we don't need it. It's because sometimes we go around and we be rebellious and we look at other things like a solution. How could this work instead of doing this? You know, I always looked at, if everybody going straight, what's on this right-hand road? You know, let me go look over here for a little bit. So I always know that a personal journey is always within yourself, the warrior. And whatever you speak about yourself will manifest. So when you guys hear this podcast and I speak my riches up and I say I'm going to be a billionaire and I'm going to drive around Atlanta and LA and drive around in the nicest luxury vehicles in the States and transportations and have the nicest destinations I'm ever visit, this is real shit. I'm speaking this shit up because this is really going to happen. I'm going to listen back to this podcast a few years from now and I'm like, oh shit. So that's why I'm telling you guys, like, my perfection is only knowing that it's going to come. I don't have a time frame on it. Well, I technically do on my vision board, but you're only going to delay your own success by worrying about the finish line. You have to enjoy the journey. Start fresh, bro. If you're opening a new business, just start from zero, bro. Like, you don't have to hurry and make $10,000 a month. Like, you don't have to hurry and make that. Like, it comes with knowledge and comes with experience. You don't have to hurry and make $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. Shit, you could easily make $1,000 a month and build yourself up to 12,000. To 30,000, to 1 million. Like, all the success stories, we didn't start from ground 100 and we came down, you know? No, it was really more so like I got out the mud, you feel me? My parents was always very much big on education. But I always see my mom as an entrepreneur and business-oriented person, so I always fell in that route. And I always seen that. Like, I always seen my mom do that. Like, I always was motivated and inspired by that. So when I tell you guys, like, it's only a matter of time before you guys blow up. It's a matter of time before you guys become financially independent and abundant, but you have to really be intentional with what you want to do. If you still want to work a job and get rich, you could do that. If you just don't want to ever work a job and have freedom and just have time freedom for yourself and still be rich, that's possible too. Like, a lot of people will take that life if you want to be 100. Like, a lot of people would take that life, but we need people who are going to be pretty much in positions to not only work for everybody else, but sometimes we may have people who can't be a boss. I'm not saying you can't. Well, let me rephrase that. Who's not suitable, who's not comfortable being a boss? Not because you aren't a boss. It's because some certain things you just have to know that, okay, I'm okay with just taking the back seat on this. And everybody has a position in life we play. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, you feel it in you. You know what you're good at. You know what you're capable at. And you know what's meant for you. So don't let nobody deter you from your spiritual path and your journey. Because like I said, it is a journey at the end of the day. So I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. Check out my other episodes. Send me a DM, billionaire_moist on Instagram, man. I love when you guys send me feedback and rate the podcast and tell me, hey, man, you need to go ahead and talk about this next time. And you need to invite this person. I want to get this topic. So I have a list of topics like people email me and DM me about. So I'm really just gonna start dropping these topics come September, and that's one thing I wanted to tell you guys. So once again, I appreciate you guys for listening to Rolling Business Podcast. It's been an amazing journey. Keep chasing your dreams and fuck the haters.